When I was in 8th grade, I went paintballing with some friends for a birthday party, and it was my first time paintballing. It was a lot of our first times paintballing, so we were mostly just playing around, having fun. But we ran into this group of college guys, and we wanted to challenge them to a match. There's only 5 of them, and there's about 10 of us, so it seemed pretty even. But it turns out that these guys were actually Navy SEALs in training, and they absolutely annihilated our team. I remember the whole match. I stayed right behind the bunker wall of our base, and I didn't move. Paintballs were whizzing past. They destroyed our whole team, and I was just frozen there. I couldn't step around. I finally, at the end, did step out to surrender, and I was shot 3 times before I could even say I surrender. And my goal in that match was to stay as safe as possible for as long as possible. And I think that I've approached a lot of areas of my life the same way. When I was young, my mom explained to me the story of Jesus, that he came to earth and he died for me so that my sins could be forgiven, and that if I accept him into my heart, I can have a relationship with him and spend eternity with him in heaven. And that sounded like a great deal to me, and so I made that decision to follow God when I was 4, and I'm very glad that I did. But for a lot of my life, I lived as safe as possible. I didn't do a lot that required faith. And this didn't start to change really until like after high school, coming into college. I mean, it was at that time that some older guys in my life started to challenge me to step up and lead, to talk about my faith with people I knew, and to talk about my faith with strangers, to lead a Bible study, and other things that sounded really hard and really scary. And I was not excited about it. I had this idea that these hard things were good, but for other people. And, you know, I wanted people to be sharing their faith, but not me. Someone else should do it. Someone that's better qualified to do it. To me, it was too scary. But I began to realize that God was calling me to do things that were risky. He wanted me in the fight, not just hiding away safely. When I looked at my life, I thought that I was pretty good. But when I compared myself to other people, I thought that I looked pretty good. And I thought it would be great if I could just sit back and be comfortable and remain the same. But that is not what God was asking me to do. See, when Jesus came to earth, he sacrificed his entire life for us. And he died so that we could know him. And that doesn't sound very safe to me. And in the same way, God didn't want me being safe and ineffective. So I started taking risks. I started sharing my faith with other people, and it was not easy. It was hard. It took effort, and it was scary. I risked a lot of times being awkward and uncomfortable. And I still choose to hide sometimes, but I have taken those risks, and when I do, God pulls through. God has taken me on this amazing journey around the world where he is transforming lives, he's bringing hope to people, and he's drawing those who don't know him into a relationship with him. And when I take risks, God uses me for his purposes. I've learned that I don't have to be afraid to step out. I don't have to cower behind that bunker wall. And when I do, I'm really risking more than just a couple paintball welts. I'm risking wasting my life. And I know now that following God is a risk that is worth taking.